Welcome back. Today we're going to do a quick lesson of introduction to angles, and this is not going to start from the actual beginning of angles, but it's just a lesson that is going to show you or give you a basic idea of how to solve for an angle if it's a complementary or supplementary angles. All right, let's jump right into it. So complementary angles are angles that have 90 degrees, 90-degree angles. So that means you're going to have these perpendicular lines. Perpendicular means you're making a 90 degree. This is perpendicular, and this angle is 90 degrees. Okay? Supplementary angles are 180 degrees. So this any straight line from one point to another has a 180 degree angle. You don't see it because it's just a straight line, but it's actually 180 degrees, and that's the easy part of it. How do I remember which is which? How do I remember what is complementary and what is supplementary? The easiest way to remember is, think about this. When you are right or you have a right answer, your teacher or your parents or a friend would give you a compliment. Oh yeah, that is correct. Yes, you're right. So right means compliment. Right earns a compliment, and right compliment, which means right, is 90 degrees. Complementary, right is 90 degrees, and this is complementary. Sounds like compliment. The other thing to remember is C of complementary is for corner or like a right angle. So if it's something like that, I guess that's not going to work. I think C for corner is 90 degrees, right? So we'll remember that. And S for supplementary is straight. A straight line is 180. Straight and supplement both starts with the letter S. So we're going to remember it like that. If you remember if you distinguish one angle type, if you want to choose supplementary or complementary, if you remember one type, then you're going to remember the other is the other side, the opposite. Sorry, not the opposite. It's going to be the other one. So try to remember at least one. I would focus on complement and complementary and 90 degrees. That's an easy one to remember. All right. So you choose which way you want to remember. Okay. What is this angle? Is this a right angle? Is this complementary or is this supplementary? So remember, complementary, complement means you got something right, and right means 90 degrees. So is this a 90-degree angle or is this a 180-degree angle? I'm not talking about B, I'm talking about the whole angle. So the whole line is supplementary. So that means it's 180 degrees. Now, how do I find what B is? By looking at it, I think you can understand, but let's actually use something that we have learned in school or in class. And what's that thing? That's called equations. An equation is going to help you to solve supplementary and complementary angles, to find the missing angle. So let's use an equation. How do I come up with this equation? Pretty simple. 45 degrees plus 39 degrees plus B degrees plus 24 degrees. These are all degrees. When I add these, I'm going to get 180. Now there you have an equation. Now what do you do next is you're going to solve the equation, which I am 100% sure you know how to. We'll come back to that. All right, let's figure out what is angle X. Same thing. first question is this complementary? Is this complementary or supplementary? Well, you can see it's 90 degrees. What does 90 degree mean? Is it supplementary or complementary? 90 degrees, right, complement, complementary. So we have complementary angles here. Once again, we're going to use that equation method. X plus 37 degrees is going to give me 90 degrees. We have an equation. How do I solve the equation? 37, I have to subtract 37 from both sides. You can skip these steps if you know what to do next. X is equal to 90 minus 37. So that's going to be my equation. All right, so you're going to find out what X is. So this is the same method. You find out what's the missing angle, but first you have to understand, you have to answer the question, what type of angle is this? Is this a complementary or supplementary? Only then you can use an equation to solve, because something has to equal 90 or 180. So this depends on these two. So make sure you answer this question first, so you can go back to setting up your equation. All right, we have a beautiful angle setup, 3 colors, 3 angles, and this is going to be the focus of our lesson. So let's see what this means. Is this a supplementary or complementary? I'm going to answer the question for you. It's complementary, which means it's 90 degrees. So how do I set this up? Same way as before, but in this case I have 3 different types of angles. So I'm going to add, let's get the same color. Let's say it's green. X plus 1 is green. And then I have blue, which is X minus 1. And then I have orange, which is X plus 3. All these add up to 90 degrees. So think about your knowledge about like terms, combining like terms. Anybody familiar with that? All right, let's do some combining of like terms. X, X, X. All these are additions, so I'm going to get 3x. X plus X plus X is 3x. Then I'm going to move to my other numbers. Plus 1 minus 1 cancels each other. I only have a plus 3 on this side, is equal to 90 degrees. 90. Now you have a beautiful equation. You solve it. How do you solve it? I'll let you solve it. All right, moving on. Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm going to do this problem completely so you can do the next problem by yourself. Okay, so minus 3 on both sides, which is going to give me 3x minus 87. Now I'm dividing both sides by 3, cancel each other. X is equal to 87 divided by 3 is 29. Now I have a solution for x, but x is not an angle here. There's so many other things happening to x before I jump into x is equal to 29. Yes, x is equal to 29, but this is not x, this is x plus 3. So that means 29 plus 3. Next one. This is not x, this is x minus 1. So 29 minus 1, and this is going to be 29 plus 1. Let's work it out. 29 plus 3 is 32 degrees. 29 minus 1 is 28 degrees. 29 plus 1 is 30 degrees. Now let's add up these numbers. Let's add up 32, 28, 30. What I'm doing here is I'm checking my work. Does all these make sense? When I add this up, I'm going to get 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'm getting 90 degrees. So the adding up of all these is going to give me 90 degrees, which means my solution was correct. So make sure you have to check your answer. Make sure the last thing that you have to make sure is when you have a solution for x, the question is never going to ask you what x is. It might, but in this case, look at the problem. It's never x. So if you say x is equal to 29, that's not your answer. That's not your final answer. You have to get these angle values to make sure that you are answering the question. All right, let's go to another problem. Here you go. This is also a complementary angle, 90 degrees. Let's set up the problem. 4x plus 7x minus 9 equal 90 degrees. I set up the problem for you. You're solving. Make sure x, you're going to get x is equal to something. That is not your final answer. Something is happening to x here and here. Make sure you do that operation and then find out the angles. Make sure to add the angles and then see if it's 90 degrees. Okay? All right, I'm going to erase this. You're going to solve this problem. Here's another problem. Same way, x is not by itself. Something else is happening to x. So you can set up the problem, solve for x, and then tell me what these angles will be. Oops, that's not what I plan to do. What these angles will be, the value of these angles. Okay, so you're setting up the problem. I'm not going to say anything. Pause the video, set up the problem, check your answers. We'll come back to this. And then there's another. This is the challenge problem. It's not hard. I'm pretty sure you can do it if you set up the problem correct. Pause the video. Try this problem. Alright, so these are the assignments for this week. You have 3 assignments. Pretty easy, straightforward. Make sure you're doing all your assignments. If you're missing any assignments, please remember that May 29th is the last day to submit any assignments. This week's assignments can be submitted via Teams. The other via email. If it's late, email. All right. See you guys in class.